Quick announcement before we get started. Our landlord has decided not to renew the lease, so we're selling a bunch of manga and magic cards over on eBay. Link down below to help support my family and get us into a new place. Prices are reasonable unless you want to be generous, of course. Welcome once again to Commander by Danon. Today's video was inspired by last week's Commander Horizons 3 stream. Modern Horizons 3. Today's deck is led by Monsoon Mage. Also, and I know it's annoying to keep hearing this, but statistically if I don't ask you to like and subscribe, the video gets fewer subscribers. Monsoon Mage is a 2-mana 1/3 legendary human wizard who makes it so that instants and sorceries we cast cost 1 less to cast. Whenever we cast an instant or sorcery spell during our turn, we flip a coin. If we lose that flip, Monsoon Sage deals 1 damage to us. If we win the flip, we may exile Ral. If we do, we return him to the battlefield transformed under our control. Leyline Prodigy is a legendary planeswalker with 2 starting loyalty who enters the battlefield with an additional loyalty counter on it for each instant and sorcery we've cast this turn. We may add 1 loyalty to make it so that instants and sorceries we cast cost 1 less to cast until our next turn. We may remove 2 loyalty to deal 2 damage divided as we choose among 1 or 2 targets, and we may draw a card if we control a blue permanent other than Ral. If we remove 8 loyalty, we may exile the top 8 cards of our library. We may cast instants and sorceries from among those exiled cards this turn without paying their mana cost. I love flipwalkers, and the fact that we're getting 5 of them this set means that I get to do 1 a day for the whole week. Also, the fact that they're all 2 color brings me joy. Yes, you heard that right. They're all 2 colors. Want proof? Here you go. If you flip Monsoon Mage over into Leyline Prodigy and zoom into that little dot right there, you can see that it has both blue and red. This dot is here to denote the color identity of a card that has no mana symbols. This means that Monsoon Sage has an Izzet color identity, which means that this deck will be an Izzet Spellslinger deck. Now, I've done plenty of Izzet Spellslinger decks on this channel, and I consider myself pretty good at building them. So in order to challenge myself, I tried to keep the budget under $100. Unfortunately, like all the newly spoiled flipwalkers, is pre-ordering for way more than he's going to be worth. I predict he'll wind up around $5 to $10 and not the $25 he's currently at. I could be wrong though, we'll see. Not counting our commander, this deck did wind up just shy of $90, so I think we're okay. But before we get to our deck list, a quick word from our sponsor, Ultimate Guard. For the past few years, Ultimate Guard has been hard at work finding ways to protect your cards without damaging the planet, and they have discovered it. Boulders, once made entirely of plastic, are now made of 87% renewable resources. They also come in a variety of sizes and colors, including this new blue 133 card box. If you're like me, you have a ton of decks, want a little bit of space for your tokens in your deck boxes, and don't want those boxes filling up an entire suitcase, then this box is the perfect solution. Find it if your local game store carries the new Return to Earth boulders from Ultimate Guard, or click on the link down below to order yourself one from Amazon. In order to build a functional commander deck, you need lots of different pieces, which is why I try to rely on my handy-dandy checklist. 50 mana sources, usually split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, 10 pieces of card advantage, 8 to 10 pieces of spot removal, 2 to 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, and 1 sudden I win card. Oh, one more quick announcement before we get started. I'm going to be streaming on Musings by Danon as well as Twitch. It'll mostly be Final Fantasy XIV, but you're more than welcome to pop in and talk about manga. Honestly, about half my streams are talking about manga, anime, or Commander.
I think I do.
Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Stormcarved Coast, Sulphur Falls, Volatile Fjord, Molten Tributary, Ferris Lake, Cascade Bluffs, Shivan Reef, Frostboil Snarl, Izzet Boilerworks, Scavenger Grounds, Myriad Landscape, Evolving Wilds, Terramorphic Expanse, Reliquary Tower, 7 Islands, and 8 mountains make up the land base for our deck. Seething Song, Goblin Electromancer, Pyretic Ritual, Desperate Ritual, Mana Geyser, Brass's Bounty, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Sky Diamond, Fire Diamond, Talisman of Creativity, Izzet Signet, Felwar Stone, Thought Vessel, Decanter of Endless Water, Descend into Avernus, and Stormkiln Artist help us to ramp out and stay ahead of the curve. Windfall, Thrill of Possibility, Big Score, Factor Fiction, Unexpected Windfall, Solve the Equation, Wheel of Misfortune, Pull from Tomorrow, Seize the Spoils, Blue Sun Zenith, Tormenting Voice, Mizzix Mastery, Archmage Emeritus, and Teferi's Ageless Insight help us to dig through our deck and keep our hands full. But since we're Spellslinger, we also have a small cantrip package in Brainstorm, Faithless Looting, Opt, Preordain, Ponder, and Consider. Chaos Warp, Negate, Arcane Denial, Vandal Blast, Abrade, Reality Shift, Snap, Resculpt, Ravenform, Unwind, Counterspell, Narset's Reversal, Grape Shot, Mana Leak, and Commit Memory help us to keep our opponents in line. Aetherize, Disrupt Decorum, and Blasphemous Act help us to reset the board as needed. Ghostly Flicker, Lightning Bolt, Comet Storm, Crackle with Power, Thousand Year Storm, Swarm Intelligence, Aria of Flame, Gutter Snipe, Niv-Mizzet Perun, Firebrand Archer, Electrostatic Field, Fiery Inscription, and Erebor Flamesmith make up the core of our deck and how we plan on winning. Now that we have our deck list, let's compare it to our checklist. 49 mana sources split between 31 lands, 17 pieces of ramp, and our commander. 14 pieces of card advantage, plus 6 more cantrips. 15 pieces of interaction. 3 board wipes. 2 pieces of graveyard hate in Scavenger Grounds and Commit Memory. 1 sudden I win card in Mizzix Mastery. An overloaded Mizzix Mastery allows us to recast every card in our graveyard. If we have enough instants and sorceries, that means our Gutter Snipes or similar effects should generate enough damage to win the game on the spot. Of course, there's always the Thousand Year Storm win. We cast a cantrip, cast Solve the Equation to fetch out a Mana Geyser and a Crackle with Power. I've cast Mana Geyser many times playing Commander, and I've never once gotten less than 10 mana, so assuming that is the case this time, we now have 30 mana to play with, which means each of the 4 copies of Crackle with Power that we're casting will have X equal 9, so we'll get to deal 45 damage to each of up to 36 different targets. Not bad for a budget deck. When building this deck, I wanted to focus on cards that had 2 or higher mana value. Ral will lower the costs by 1 generic mana, which means the more instants and sorceries we cast, the more value he creates. And I'm a big fan of value. Are you building a Ral Monsoon Mage Commander deck? What's your secret deck tech? Leave a comment below. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cutestuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, she can be reached at cutestuff.edits@gmail.com. Link is down below. If you're looking for ways to support the channel directly, you can head on over to patreon.com/Danon. You can have a video made or just ask for help building or tuning a deck list. I also want to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons: Waffles, Jiraiya, Danny, Muffins, Marcus, Brett, Roxy, Sean, Mark, Borgie, Nazwin, Midge, Alex, Alex, Conga, Aaron, Chris, Robert, Michael, Skinwalker, Sidewinder, William, Austin, Aaron, Dan, and Pi. You guys are awesome. I post new Commander Deck videos every weekday, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified when new videos. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next time on Commander by Danon.